Hello and welcome to. I forgot to start the music. There we go. Hello and welcome to. I'm gonna do Wordle. Hello, Pazer. How you doing? Jana Chameleon. I don't think I've heard that one before. Let's see. How should we start today? I'll just keep it simple. We're just gonna do plate. We're just gonna do plate. The best Wordle opening. And Pazer, I actually remind me what your second word is. I can't do it usually because of the hard mode turned on, but I keep forgetting what your second word is. Your ultimate. Oh fuck! Almost knocked over. Anyway, yeah, I forgot what it is that you start with. Um, let's see. Uh, Spool. Damn. That was not as helpful as I was hoping it would be. Um, I've suddenly forgotten every word that has both P and L in it. Hey, welcome home. Whelp. Hmm. There's no E, but that's still a good guess in terms of getting information. What about, is there anything else I can do that doesn't have an E? Uh, this is tough. Blimp. There we go. Wait, why is it not typing? Why is it not typing? Oh, because I've already typed whelp. Blimp. Ah, I should have known L isn't in the second. Damn. Well, that's unfortunate. At least we know M is in there somewhere. Maple? No, no E. Palm? No. Plum? There's no B. Guppy? No, no L. Or M. So I didn't realize that you were in the US for so long, Pazer. Nice. For some reason, I thought you were only going to stay in that one first area. But it sounds like you had a really nice long trip. Actually, come to think of it, you were here for a month, weren't you? Yeah, basically a month. That's a massive trip. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Da 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 da. Lumpy. Hey, there it is. Lumpy. Hello, Aaliyah. I'm good. How are you? I'm feeling much better than last week. It feels like it's been ages since I streamed, even though it's only been 2 weeks. A little over a month when I was younger? I don't think I've ever vacationed for over a month. Let's pop over here. So today we're going to be reading more from my dad's book, Eat the Strawberries. Hey, you got it. That gave me very Fonz vibes. Like, hey. Um, Jonathan's love is lumpy but real. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. All right, so where we left off, we were last talking about the balance between what was it? What was that? What was that section called? The balance between desire and attachment and zenness. I know we're on an ad break, so I'll just fill the space until people are back. So we last talked about how Buddhism is not actually a religion of denying yourself comforts. It's a religion of understanding that most suffering comes from unhealthy desire and attachment. But it is not saying that desire and attachment themselves are unhealthy, because that itself is a contradiction. You can't desire to be free of desire. That is a desire. I mean, you can desire to be free of desire, but you'll always fail. And there's no benefit in it. It just makes you miserable for the sake of miserableness. Your country protects you against excessive Twitch ads. That's good. Says that we're on an ad break for another 15 seconds, and then I'll start reading. But I hope everyone's doing well. Okay, so today's reading, we're going to start with a section called The Middle Path. After years of excessive indulgence, followed by years of excessive deprivation and self-flagellation, Siddhartha Gautama became the awakened one, the Buddha. The first thing he said to his companions was, "The path to enlightenment is the middle path, between extremes." We will review Buddha's origin story later in the book. Advising moderation is hardly the most profound or unique thought in either philosophy or religion. It is certainly far less original than the great insights later associated with Buddha. How was this common observation his awakening? Buddha was human. Oh, hello, Chris. How you doing? It's been a while. Good to have you. Buddha was human. Like you and me, he had blind spots that are embarrassing in hindsight. He was brilliant, as we will see, but somehow this rather obvious lesson eluded him until he personally experienced years of living in circumstances so extreme that most of us cannot accurately imagine them. As sometimes happens, a serendipitous observation of a small, obvious, mundane idea came at the ripe moment to awaken an insight. What he elaborates in the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and other teachings is substantively more than just the idea of moderation, but somehow moderation was the last piece he needed to click into place for the whole to cohere and emerge into his conscious mind. Another annoying thing I forgot to prep for the trip, YouTube PH allows for 360p download of videos. US requires a paywall? Wait, you can just download YouTube videos in the Philippines? I mean, I do have an app that does that anyway, but damn. I had no idea the same service could be that different in different countries. Doing good? Yeah, I've been a bit busy on Sundays for a bit. Hey, all good. Nice to be able to be here again. It's really nice to have you. Could have downloaded videos and kept the phone offline to enjoy videos. That would have been nice, especially on the airplane. The teachings released by that mundane thought have literally helped millions of people to better their lives. On a less historical scale, you and I can also hope to have insights that help ourselves and many others. It is very likely that you have already done this many times for several people. Perhaps you will do it again sometime soon. When we seem to have an enlightening instant, sorry, when we seem to have an enlightening insight in an instant, we have been primed for it by feelings, thoughts, and experiences we had before that instant. When we act on each next bit of incremental enlightenment in our lives, we improve our own lives and those we affect. Contradictions. Religion is no stranger to inconsistency. In the case of Buddhism, despite the centrality of the middle path, there is a lot of non-middle path content in Buddhist teaching, especially in the Pali Canon, which is the text most likely to have captured things Buddha actually said, as opposed to things unfactually attributed to him by later authors. Here are just a few religious self-contradictions, but big ones. When Siddhartha... abandoned family, or not. When Siddhartha left home, he not only abandoned the considerable worldly comforts of his life as a prince, but also his parents, wife, and his newborn child. He later advised this course for anyone who seeks enlightenment, and it is obligatory for monks and nuns in almost all Buddhist sects. Exceptionally, Buddhist monks in Japan and some groups in Tibet, Mongolia, and Korea are not required to be celibate. 90% of Buddhist monks in Japan are married. Yet he also gave marriage advice. This mixed message is not unique to Buddhism. Several of Jesus' apostles abandoned their families to join him, and Jesus himself said that this was necessary not only for apostles, but for every person who wished to follow him. Quote, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even their own life, such a person cannot be my disciple." Jesus. Yet Jesus also gave marriage advice, and he did not strike down the existing commandments against adultery, coveting your neighbor's wife, or honoring your parents. So strong was the teaching to abandon family in order to follow Christ that the Catholic Church tolerated marriage as a matter of necessity, but did not make it a sacrament until the Council of Trent in 1547. The Church thought that people should devote their entire existence to increasing their spiritual readiness, undistracted by spouses, children, family, and sex, since the Second Coming was going to happen any day now for over 1500 years. The resolution in most Buddhist sects, like that reached by Catholicism at the Second Lantern Council in 1139, is that clerics and unmarried people should be celibate, while non-clerics who are married can engage in sex that conforms with specified constraints. BDSM constraints, am I right? That is extreme, yeah. I could have ordered your dad strawberries over there. It actually, I've talked with him about this. Even though the digital version of the book is cheaper, he actually gets a larger profit share if you get the digital version, because that's just how much money it takes to produce a physical book. Where was I? Footnote. Clerical celibacy in the Catholic Church is periodically revisited. It is currently seen as the major factor contributing to a priest shortage so severe that it endangers the Church's mission. It is also often thought to be a major contributor to the prevalence of pedophilia among priests. Worldly interests are bad, or not. As is common among religions, Buddhism holds that fun, family, accomplishments, possessions, status, and worldly things in general are incompatible with the single-minded devotion necessary for maximal spiritual development. Religions tend to have an especially intense antipathy for sex, construing it as inherently and especially dangerous, prohibiting it outside of marriage, and regulating activities within marriage. Footnote. Sex as a means of spiritual connection and experience is a small feature of tantric sects within Hinduism and Buddhism, taken out of context and overemphasized in racist interpretations when certain ancient documents first came to Western attention. Various now extinct religions and some tiny modern cultic groups have either paid or voluntary temple prostitutes, a de facto concubinage for the group's leader, and or a general holy shit. My dad uses a lot of big words and it's hard to read aloud. A de facto concubinage for the group's leader, and or a general liberality about sex among adherents. But overwhelmingly, being hostile to sex is a common fetish among religions. Fetish. Christianity is so vehemently sex negative that they tell us Jesus was born without any sex taking place. Buddha advises against all sexual activity as if it were a pit of burning cinders. Unable to stop people from having sex, religions are keen to restrain it, allowing only certain acts between certain people under certain circumstances. Even under those constraints, they usually still consider it fundamentally bad and dangerous, and thus in need of all this containment. Footnote. Sex is dangerous in that it transmits diseases, in that broken promises and jealousy can be emotionally, financially, and socially devastating, and can even lead to violence with fatal outcomes. For most of human history, the incidence of women dying in childbirth was around 1 in 150, not rare. However, I personally consider the antipathy for sex that is common to most religions as an unwholesome, anti-pleasure, people are inherently bad, nature means nothing, misconstruction that causes great loss and harm. Religious antipathy against sex has never been in sync with what is so in actual human nature, and is now also almost completely out of sync with contemporary contraceptive and disease-fighting technologies. Consistent with the purpose of greater focus on spiritual development among clerics, the general practice across religions is for priests, monks, and nuns to live modest lives, with simple clothes, meals, living conditions, and tasks. They are generally to avoid pleasure, accolades from others, or personal pride of any kind, and meant to spend much time in prayer or meditation and in direct service to others. Big words and long sentences for sure. Footnote. A lot of footnotes too. The religious push for a modest lifestyle has somehow not prevented the Pope from living in conditions otherwise reserved for kings. Nor has it kept several evangelical Christian pastors or Hamas leaders from becoming multimillionaires and billionaires and living in conditions of extreme decadence. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Church, has a net worth of over $250 billion. The famously opaque Catholic Church has a net worth estimated to be between $4 billion and $100 billion. Various Christian, Muslim, and Hindu sects have net worths in the billions or tens of billions of dollars. The conflict between spiritual focus and ordinary life is real. In ordinary life, the demands of both petty and significant circumstances frequently drown out any focus we might otherwise have on becoming better people. Strawberries came out recently. Strawberries came out in November, I think. Additionally, our personal interests compete with the contributions we could make to the welfare of others. But when religions choose severe restriction over skillful navigation, much is lost. It is inarguable that personal pleasure, relations, and possessions take up too much of most people's attention, but for most people, a recommendation to entirely eliminate these things is just not going to be followed. So, at best, it's very ineffective advice, not skillful teaching. Furthermore, personal pleasure, relations, and possessions support personal growth as well as compassion for others in a way that avoiding them cannot. Pleasure sustains and motivates. It brings us our first tastes of contentment, even if that is partial and temporary, and even if it presents the risk of gluttony. Pleasure chemically, physiologically, emotionally, and cognitively counteracts the pain and difficulty in one's life. Pleasure is a naturally occurring and normal part of life. Pleasure is not unwholesome. Studiously avoiding pleasure is unwholesome. A dearth of pleasure is bad. An excessive gluttony for pleasure is problematic. Middle path pleasure is good, and the middle path is wide. Mixed messages. Hi, Pedro. Have we all found the strawberries yet? Strawberries have yet to be mentioned, and I feel lied to. We're gonna get to a point where it's like the Leo DiCaprio uh, pointing at the TV meme. Trying to open chapstick with one hand. I don't know why I'm doing this instead of just putting the book down. I did it though. One sec. Chapstick break. Or Burt's Bees break. I like the mint. Gotta get them good chemicals in healthy doses. Yeah. Don't be addicted to good chemicals. Just get them. Thekla would hate strawberries. Fuck Thekla. God, that was a fun stream. Oh, that was such a fun stream. Oh, that's a reference to Talos Principle 2, for anybody wondering. Add in 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it happen. I can't snooze them all, you know? Obligatory fuck Thekla of the month. We can use more snoozes if we're like doing like a really heavy, really intense bit or something. I don't know that one's coming though. Mixed messages. Religions give so many more mixed messages than the few mentioned above, and religions present variation in beliefs and practices across sects and across historical time within a given sect. It follows that religious assertions about what is inherently and universally correct, or incorrect, are suspect at best. Every religious so-called certainty is merely a convention followed by a given community during a given historical period. Beliefs, practices, and even scriptures are subject to repeated changes in what is removed or added, the quality of translations, and the meaning assigned. The problem is not that religions, including their scriptures, evolve and devolve over time. The problem is the common pretense that they don't, that religious teachings are one and done and invariant across all time and circumstances. We should embrace the reality of change in religious traditions and take responsibility to shape that change in a manner that is responsive to the evolving knowledge and needs of real human beings. Historians tell us that every religion has evolved over time to suit somebody's interests. It would be great if religions would admit it and get better at it, instead of denying it, being dogmatic, and denigrating, hating, fearing, oppressing, and killing people over it. Finding one's own path. Does each mod and Jonathan get 3 snoozes, or are they shared? They're shared. If you do it, I can't! Finding one's own path. What is the middle path for those of us who are neither monks nor nuns? I suggest that it is one in which we expect and are not astonished by suffering, but still work to overcome it. Seek pleasure without idolizing it. Reduce our attachment to the external things our culture emphasizes, such as job titles, home ownership, nice cars, awards, status, admiration, and yet enjoy what is enjoyable. Trend in the direction of humility, reflection, greater awareness and kindness, more calm, and less misdirected striving. A true middle path is not a narrow gymnastics balance beam at the Olympics. You will not fall to your humiliation, injury, and defeat if you step a bit off center. A true middle path is wide. It has enough room for you. It just isn't excessive in either direction. Defining excessive is a subjective art, pushed about by thousands of personal and cultural predispositions. We won't always get it right. That's okay. Stop! Ads are playing. Okay. What have you guys been up to these days? I have been, I think I've spoken about this a little bit. I've been studying to become an electrician, of all things, which I never would have expected of myself, but, you know, skilled labor is like the most secure, lucrative career path left. And I'm a good actor, but I'm not getting any acting jobs anytime soon, partly because of my mental health, and partly because of the state of the world, and partly because acting. So, I've been trying to reskill, and actually I'm really enjoying it so far. I've applied to an apprenticeship program, and I'm still in the process of figuring out whether that's going to happen or not. Electricians are bringing in fat stacks. They really are. If you are a licensed, experienced electrician, you can make 6 digits in USD. You feel like I'd be good at most things I apply myself to? Thank you. Um, I have tried many skill sets in the past few years. I've tried getting into cybersecurity. I've tried getting into data analysis. Um, and I've tried to learn a little more about AI and AI training. But at the end of the day, none of those things have really grabbed me. They haven't gotten their hooks in me. I enjoy programming, but programmers are not secure in their positions anymore. Ah! Wish religions admitted themselves as tools and instruments for healthy daily living in this mortal coil instead of claiming the world revolves around them. Yeah, they are. They're sets of tools, and you know, there's various discussion about how effective those are, but that's what they are, and that's fine. It's a hard knock world. Okay, back to the book. Consider personal. Oh, sorry. I hope one day you can go back to acting in a way that brings you joy. Thank you. I'm still doing it non-professionally on Zoom. I still do that thing where I read people's scripts aloud and give them feedback on it, and that's been honestly, I think that has made me a better actor than all of my college years. Consider personal love denied to most Buddhist clerics and many clerics in other religions. Personal love of specific individuals is a context in which we can learn so much about wanting well for others, about feeling another person's pain, and living together cooperatively, all of which can help us become deeply compassionate individuals, which is one of the primary values in Buddhism. Love tuned to the needs and capabilities of particular individuals belongs on everyone's middle path. We need to generalize those feelings to people with whom we do not have that personal connection, rather than limiting it only to those with whom we do. But it's close to home where we will learn the most about how to do it, before we take on the task of caring deeply about people we don't personally know. The latter is simultaneously harder because it is not driven by our hormones, and easier because it is not as deep and doesn't have much impact on our daily life. But to make it real without the training experience of close personal relationships is quite a long shot. Love is a naturally occurring and normal part of life. A dearth of love is bad. Insecurity about love and stinginess about love are bad. Obsessive love that keeps a person bound to someone who is very damaging to them, that blinds, that ignores evil, is bad. But middle path love is good. It means real, full love that is minimally accompanied by unhealthy attachments. There is nothing middle path about clerics not having the challenges, pains, and rewards of personal love. We readily make personal possessions too important. But as they come and go, they can provide a vehicle for repeated yet relatively low consequence lessons in not defining ourselves by our circumstances. They can amplify our opportunity to be generous with others and do good in the world. Ownership of at least some personal effects is a naturally occurring and normal part of life. A dearth of basic material comfort is bad. Insatiable, ostentatious, covetous, meaningless, selfish acquisition and hoarding are bad. Earned, reasonable, sometimes sparse, and sometimes a bit indulgent, middle path material comfort is good. It helps us feel secure, gives us pleasure, helps us enjoy life, gives us something to share in the material world, and helps us feel more like sharing our emotional world. I would be more impressed excuse me. I would be more impressed by and have more to learn from clerics who master the challenges of personal relationships and personal possessions than those who get a free pass on these challenges by evading them entirely. A carefully cultivated life that includes pleasure and love and material means... Sorry. A carefully cultivated life that includes pleasure and love and material means can be a path to living compassionately and generously with others. That sounds like enlightenment to me. By contrast, how much more limited are the learning opportunities for developing compassion, equanimity, and profound insight into the human condition in a life that presents few of life's usual and most challenging features? This leads us to a very big reason for religions to advise monastic values and lifestyles. It is far easier to believe in the merit of spiritual devotion and to experience tranquility when they are rarely put to the test. The details vary across religions, but let's stay with Buddhist monks and nuns as an example. A Buddhist monk or nun spends 8 to 10 hours a day meditating, sometimes in stillness, and sometimes while doing the chores that constitute their duties to the monastery. They are surrounded by people who also spend almost their whole day meditating and have a strong allegiance to a highly respectful and cooperative culture. Bring luggage in? Alright. Contrast this with your life. Is your life awash in meditative calm, mutual respect, and religious devotion to cooperation? Withdrawal from the real world of jobs, bills, spouses, children, friends, and antagonists removes one from almost all of life's difficulties. It's much easier to be calm when little arises to make one anxious, when being calm, respectful, and cooperative is your prime objective around the clock and the prime directive of everyone around you. Monks and nuns can be of great service to others. They can be lovely people who help others with wisdom and compassion. I have nothing against them, but I have severe reservations about the institution of monastic life. Let's say that you and a monk both want to spend as much time as possible in a tranquil, calm, peaceful, serene, self-possessed, even-tempered state of mind. Equanimity. Beliefs and training aside, even if you are a very experienced meditator, who has the better chance of achieving that mental peace? Right, the one who doesn't have a normal job, a family, financial stress, and all the other stressors that most of us contend with daily, and spends half their waking hours meditating. If tranquility were a race, you'd be running as hard as you can and the monk would win without the bother of running at all. Consider, too, the non-monastic clerics and the lay people of any religion who insulate themselves from many aspects of the real world by mentally walling off all non-believers as other, or oppressing, isolating, terrorizing, or killing them, and living in a container made of inflexible, limiting rules. Embracing limitation makes their lives so much less challenging and so much more falsely emotionally secure. It is much easier to hold religious beliefs when no objective data is allowed in an audience. It is much easier to feel secure when anything that challenges one's security is denoted as evil. Ooh, that last sentence hits for me. That's my big problem with AI and with the state of politics across the world right now. It's the echo chamber effect, right? If the person who disagrees with you is evil, you don't have to think about what they said. That's some dangerous shit. Do not seek the one right way to live. There is none such. A true middle path is wide. It only excludes the extremes. Seek mindfulness in whatever you already do. Repeat your current internal and external behaviors as often as they serve well. Change them when you and those around you deserve for them to be changed. A good behavior is both morally and pragmatically good, in that order. If you can only pick one, or if one is to dominate, choose the morally right thing. Living on the middle path is an obvious and simple idea, yet it requires such skillful navigation that most of us miss it by a wide margin on either side in much of what we do. Buddha was right that this simple idea deserves our mindful attention. Being a good, well-developed person requires time and attention, just like anything else skillful. Yet instead of prioritizing it as the most important skill we can hope to develop, we typically starve it with sporadic leftovers of our time and attention. We tell ourselves, when I am done with this, that, and the other thing, if I have any brain power left over, I'll make myself a better person. I'm too busy with work on fluff like that. To have more peace and clarity of mind, even in times of duress. To develop more as the unique individual that we each are. To be more effective, And to be of more value to ourselves and others, we need to put time into self-improvement at a high priority. I'll get to it later if I have time is not the right priority. Quote, "If you don't make the time to work on creating the life you want, you're going to be forced to spend a lot of time dealing with a life you don't want." Kevin No. Quote, "Sucking at keeping plants alive is the first step to becoming sorta good at keeping plants alive." The Resistance Garden. How much time and attention are you giving to becoming a closer approximation of the person you most want to be, to your best answer to "Who am I?" When will you give it time and attention consistent with how important it is? What is more important? Isn't everything else secondary to that? Isn't everything else better when you have more of that? When I answer these questions, I feel that I have not given this the priority it deserves. Even in retirement, on any given day, I typically put many activities and even inactivity ahead of the hard work of self-improvement. Difficult, it's exhausting, and the gains are gradual enough to be invisible a lot of the time. To work on personal growth is difficult. To not work on it is to commit to the persistence of the difficulties you have now. Behaviorally, if not consciously, we will sometimes choose to do this work and sometimes choose to do anything else. It is necessary for us to take a lot of breaks from the hard work of personal growth. It can't be crammed into a tiny period of time, and it can't be done continuously. A modest amount of time, at frequent intervals, will be more productive than either a marathon or complete evasion. Find a middle path for intermittently focusing on self-improvement. Do something small about it very often. Do something big about it from time to time. A Western middle path. Western thought also has an ancient middle path. Aristotle listed a dozen aspects of human life in which he finds virtue as the golden mean between the extremes of deficiency and excess. There's a big table here, so I'm gonna go through it one row at a time. For the trait of fear and confidence, the deficiency is cowardice. The virtue is courage. The excess is recklessness. For the trait of pleasure, a deficiency is pleasure constrained. Virtue is temperate, and an excess is self-indulgent. For kindness, a deficiency is selfish and mean. Virtue is generous and kind, and an excess is unwisely generous and too forgiving. For spending, a deficiency is petty stinginess. Virtue is magnificence, grand yet proportionate. An excess is tasteless vulgarity. For honorable action, a deficiency is doing too little. Virtue is acting honorably. An excess is showiness. For ambition and pride, a deficiency is unambitious and undue humility. Virtue is just enough ambition, and an excess is overambitious or vainglorious. For temper, a deficiency is disengagement. A virtue is interest, and an excess is irritability. For truthfulness, a deficiency is lying or understatement. Virtue is truthfulness, and an excess is tactless or boasting. Skipping this ad because this is so interesting. I'm glad reading a table aloud is interesting. For conversation, a deficiency is buffoonery. Virtue is wittiness. An excess is boorishness. For friendliness, a deficiency is cantankerous. Virtue is friendly. And an excess is obsequious, which I'm not sure I know the meaning of. But I'm guessing that just means like obnoxious and too loud. For modesty, a deficiency is shameless. Virtue is modest, and an excess is shy. And for justice, a deficiency is spite and revenge. Virtue is just, and an excess is unaccountability. Emptiness and dependent origination. The term emptiness has two meanings in Buddhism. In the oldest documents, emptiness refers to a state of mind. In this ideal state, the mind is empty of any possible preconceptions, biases, habits of thought, illusions, or distortions that prevent a perfectly accurate perception of reality as it truly is. We touch on this idea repeatedly throughout this book. In another sense that came along later, the term emptiness is used to draw attention to the interconnectedness of all things. All things are the result of countless preceding processes and subject to countless future processes. Thus, the notion of a solid, self-contained, stable anything is an illusion. Each seemingly solid thing is just a snapshot in time of innumerable ongoing processes. Synonyms for this meaning of emptiness are dependent origination and conditioned arising. These more directly say that everything depends on and is connected to everything else. At a deeper level, Buddhism goes further and holds that everything is actually one, that the appearance of separateness is just appearance, just illusion. The Sanskrit word interpreted as emptiness, sunyata, is sometimes translated instead as not self. That is, nothing is independently itself. Everything depends on other things as the preconditions and causes of its becoming, being sustained, being altered, and being destroyed. Reality is more a limitless collection of ongoing, interdependent processes than a collection of solid objects and independent events. Stoicism agrees. Quote, "Everything flows, and nothing abides. Everything gives way, and nothing stays fixed." Heraclitus. Him. Nothing endures but change. Also Heraclitus. Heraclitus is seen as a major influence on... That sounds wrong, is it? Heraclitus? Fuck me, I don't know Greek. He's seen as a major influence on Plato, Parmenides, and Western philosophy in general. Drawing attention to unnoticed interconnections is one of the major themes in this book. We never have as complete an understanding of things as we think. We never have a complete catalog of everything that matters in a given situation, and we never know all of the ways those component elements interact. A great example of this is the well-known story of the reintroduction of wolves into Yellowstone National Park, which is where Pazer just was a few weeks ago. Wolves are not afraid of humans, are good at reading human emotional signals, feel free to attack humans of any size should the need arise, and like eating what humans discard as food scraps. They also like what humans provide them with easily picked off, high-quality food. Humans don't call it that. They call it raising sheep or keeping goats and things like that. Thus, human fear of and hatred of wolves has been going on for at least 15,000 years. Paradoxically, living in close proximity is also how the big bad wolf was tricked into having descendants such as tiny fluffy Pomeranians and hairless Chihuahuas. By the early 1900s... It's funny he says hairless Chihuahuas because those can actually be pretty vicious dogs. By the early 1900s, the same people who loved the dogs they used for hunting, shepherding, guarding, and companionship had killed almost all of the wolves in the United States. In the area that became Yellowstone National Park in 1872, the absence of wolves led to a surge in the elk population, which led to an increased grazing on willow, aspen, and cottonwood trees, which led to a decline in beavers due to them not being able to build enough dams to survive the winters. Fast forward to 1995. Unchecked by the wolf predation, the elk had also overgrazed the grasslands, devastating populations of many small animals and insects. Soil erosion of the depleted grasslands was so severe that it clogged up the Yellowstone River, affecting even more species. With so many elk and a need to reduce their number, against the protests of people who maintained the historical thought of wolf equals bad, the National Park Service introduced 14 wolves in 1995, and 17 more in 1997. Over subsequent years, the wolves multiplied, and due to a renewed wolf predation, the elk population declined to a sustainable level. As a follow-on to the reduced elk population, the trees rebounded, the beavers rebounded, the grasslands rebounded, the river regained its previous width and flow, and numerous mammal, bird, insect, and plant populations that had nearly gone locally extinct also rebounded. And I'm going to stop right there for a second because we've got an ad in 12 seconds, and that's a great break point. Oh, how is it spelled? Heraclitus. Heraclitus. Have I mentioned that a rare, bizarre symptom of depression is sometimes forgetting how to swallow? Because it is. It's almost like nature has a way to be right about living. What? Oh my god, that's crazy. It's almost like nature's been around for billions of years, and humans are never around for longer than 120 at most. Yeah, I think that, I'm good. An important thing to note about nature is that it is ruthless. It has no compassion. So, yes, nature's often good at balancing itself out, and yes, it's very resilient, and yes, we should respect it and learn from it. We shouldn't emulate it all the time because, I mean, I remember this hit me in high school at some point. I realized that practicing medicine actively stalls human evolution. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't practice medicine. It just means that evolution isn't the most important thing in human society. Seems like you were saying it close enough, at least according to my very quick Google search. Which one, Heraclitus or Heraclitus? Heraclitus sounds more like Heraclitus. Cletus is an American name. Anywho, we've got 20 seconds before the ads are over. I'm gonna attempt to drink water properly again. Look at you, boy. I did so good. Medicine interferes with natural selection. Yeah. Oh, it is Heraclitus? Alright. Heraclitus. I can hear a kid right now saying, I didn't touch the river. I didn't hurt the birds. All I did was get rid of the big bad wolf. That's good, right? We live in a world loaded with unforeseen interconnections and consequences. No one would spontaneously think that wolves can change a river. No one would think that wolves would have an impact on butterfly populations. This illustrates that we very often have no idea how interconnected things are, draw uninformed conclusions that seem perfectly reasonable, and create havoc. Assuming that you are missing something is generally much more accurate than assuming you know everything relevant, especially if you are in the midst of blaming or defending. Tread gently, forgive readily, pay attention, think flexibly, and change course quickly, rather than rushing either to defend or attack. Oh, that was the joke. Oh, okay. So it is Heraclitus, probably. Non-dualism. Non-dualism, or non-duality, is a widely recognized term, and yet one that conveys little to no meaning to most people who were not raised with it. I'll be real, I've read this part before and I forgot what it means. In ordinary daily life, we tend to think in dualities like male, female, my tribe, my enemy, and so on. At the very least, this misses the gradations that characterize and complicate real life. At the worst, the idea of two distinct things as opposed to many overlapping things force fits real people, events, and phenomena into a limited set of caricatures that greatly constrain and mislead us. Buddhism objects to this mistake, but that is not enough to understand what is meant by non-duality. Consider unparable things such as this bicycle and that book. Buddhism equally objects to this sort of distinction. We will presently see a more descriptive term than non-dualism would be separate and not separate. Separate but equal. No, I'm just kidding. Consider that you and I are distinct persons, but even if we are very different, there's a fundamental level at which we are the same. We both want to feel physically and emotionally secure. We both want to love and be loved. We both dislike hunger and illness, and so on. Our separate personalities, histories, value hierarchies, and our commonalities are all simultaneously true. In different contexts, some of these points are more salient than others. In many contexts, being aware that separate and connected coexist, that different and alike are true at the same time, can help turn conflict into accord, or at least enhance understanding and cooperation. Can you imagine turning conflict into the character Accord from the Nier universe? Well, I guess from the Drakengard universe. As noted above, Buddhism holds that every thing, circumstance, and sentient being is not merely subject to change, but is just a snapshot in time of uncountably many ceaseless changes, dependent on everything else, and empty of any intrinsic, separate identity. So to think in terms of one or two or many is to assign too much noun-based stability to a dynamically verb-based world. I think this is really interesting because I think that this highlights the biggest challenge, the biggest conflict between human instinct and reality. Nature has bred us to think in terms of nouns, because that is how our ancestors and evolutionary ancestors stayed alive long enough to reproduce, is by thinking of things as terms as good and bad, and helpful and unhelpful, and scary and nice. And we kind of did ourselves a disservice by becoming a global community, because our brains literally can't process what that incurs in terms of responsibility and virtue. I like how it was put. So yeah, I think the biggest challenge we face in modern society is that our brains were not built for this shit. They fundamentally are. We are not prepared for what we have. And there's no workaround. We've just got to try our best. A global society is like trying to imagine 10 billion chairs. Yeah, exactly! You can't! I've been thinking a lot lately about Dunbar's number. If you're not familiar with that idea, I don't remember who Dunbar is, but the point is, Dunbar's number is not an exact number, but it's somewhere around 200. And it represents the point at which human societies splinter and collapse. One human being is incapable of having more than about 200 meaningful interpersonal relationships at a time. Which means that if a community is larger than 200 people, you cannot take care of everybody in it. You either have to split into two separate groups, or you have to ignore people's needs. And since we are no longer nomadic as a species, we have to ignore people's needs. That sucks. That's bad. I am way less than that. I agree. You are less than 10 billion chairs. Like a cell in division! Oh my god, it's all fractals! It's all turtles all the way down! We barely handle our shit just within our sphere of influence. Trying to understand everything globally is scary and impossible, so don't be upset when you get it wrong. But yeah, we just gotta try our best. Gotta try our best to be compassionate. More like 10 for me. Yeah, I definitely only have about 10 close friends, but if I understand the concept correctly, they're talking more at a community level. So like, you know how in small towns everybody knows their neighbors' affairs, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's a true thing. I feel like it's closer to that level of knowing people. Where was I? As noted above, I already read that. When thinking about objects, events, circumstances, or people as separate and getting unsatisfactory results, or when thinking about them as inextricably entangled and getting unsatisfactory results, remember that separateness and connection are both true at the same time. If thinking one way leads to poor results, we should try to think the other way for a while and see what it adds or takes away or opens up or shuts down. I lost my place. If that is also unsatisfying, we may need to face the more challenging task of integrating both views at once, because this is always closer to the literal truth. Since we are so inclined toward dualistic thinking, the non-dualism message stands out to us. But the real message that is being separate and not separate are each only part of the story, so we should try to be in a state of mind that includes both simultaneously and shifts between them wisely. People think that they know what non-dualism means, and they may be right, but that is not what Buddhists mean when they use that poorly chosen translation from the old texts. Separate and not separate is less likely to give a false sense of understanding and may invite further investigation. Some Buddhist sects mean non-dualism in the strict all is one form mentioned above, while other sects allow that many things are actually distinct, yet are much more interconnected than we tend to notice. I agree with the latter group. Even the bicycle and book mentioned above may have an unobvious connection, such as the book being delivered by bicycle, or being about bicycles, or being about airplanes. Airplanes could not have developed very far without having pneumatic air-filled tires, and pneumatic tires had only recently been invented for bicycles. The Wright brothers were bicycle makers during the transition from the solid tire penny farthing type of bike to the chain-driven pneumatic tire bikes we use today. This gave them awareness of and access to pneumatic tires. Further, the income from their bicycle enterprise funded their experimentation that culminated in the first successful powered airplane flight. The invention of powered flight mechanically and financially depended on bicycles. We are constantly surrounded by unseen connections. I personally think a bicycle and a book really are two different things. I don't think everything is really one, but I do think everything is connected in ways we fail to notice. This reminds me that we should be humble and still questioning when we think we have complete and certain knowledge, because we never do and cannot. The world is simply too big and interconnected for the human brain to fully grasp. Nirvana. The term nirvana translates to quenched or extinguished. Nirvana is when all of our desires have been quenched, or when we smell like Teen Spirit. It doesn't say that. When all of our desires have been quenched and all of our preconceptions and illusions set aside, so that contentment and clear perception of reality are all that remain in us. A deep, full peace. When the metaphorical fires that burn within us have exhausted their fuel and gone out, there is nothing left to want or to avoid. There is nothing left to experience. This type of emptiness is not an aching, nihilistic, painful void, but a quiet, calm, complete contentment. You know, now that I think about it, that means death is nirvana. I genuinely think death is going to be very peaceful. I'm not looking forward to it because there's a lot of fun stuff I want to do still, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I really don't. Not to toot my own horn, I already thought invisible and distant connectedness, everything exists in lines. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being proud that you came to a conclusion that you later find is even more valuable. I mean, there is the whole echo chamber thing, right? Like, I believed this already, so now that a book says it, I know it's right. But also, if somebody you respect or whose input you respect and appreciate happens to say something that you already believed independently, that's usually a pretty good sign. Depends on how you view death. It definitely does. I view it as an absence of being. Like my dad, I'm an atheist, so I don't expect that death provides any kind of subjective experience whatsoever. But I believe that while the absence of thought means you can't experience good things, it also means you can't experience bad things. So, on net, I think being alive is more fun, but I don't think being dead is bad. It's just less fun. Sleep is Nirvana trial version. Depends on how peaceful your dreams are, I think. I'm glad your dad and I had the same thought. I'm glad you're glad. When just one such fire is extinguished, it will no longer have a neurotic impact on our life. We are no longer burdened in that particular way. We become free to function better and more easily along that dimension, and freer to focus on the other dimensions of our life that still require more of our attention. Nirvana is the state of mind to which the term emptiness originally applied. Ultimate emptiness that eliminates the need for any sort of subsequent fulfillment because we are empty of illusions and empty of unmet needs. We are done with dukkha. We are done with striving. Not because we are defeated, not because striving is bad, not because we are lazy and unmotivated, but because there is literally nothing left to strive for. It is not because we have everything in the usual sense. It is the feeling that even if we have nothing in the usual sense, we already, inherently, have everything that matters within ourselves. We are empty of any illusion to the contrary. We see here that desire itself is a type of illusion, the illusion that we need anything that we do not already have. This reduces the seeming conflict between when Buddha says in one place that illusion is the source of all dukkha, and in another place that desire is. From this perspective, desire is an especially common and problematic type of illusion, rather than something different from illusion. Nirvana is when we are genuinely at peace with things exactly as they are, because they are just circumstances. We are genuinely at peace with ourselves, because we are not our circumstances. Happiness, even the full happiness and contentment of nirvana, comes from within us, not into us. Since it is a state of mind influenced by, but not strictly dependent on, external circumstances, we can aspire to have it, at least in small bits at a time, at any time. What is the source of all dukkha? The source of all dukkha is illusion, but also desire, but also human experience, or really just animal experience. And I have an ad break coming up, so I'm going to take a break here and talk on my soapbox. Lately, I've been thinking, how do I want to put this? I wonder if, I might actually, when we're done reading for today, I might go to an article that my dad wrote on his site, about fascism, because I feel like this chapter sort of gives the it sort of gives the impression that no matter what, we need to be accepting and humble and understand that we don't have the full picture and other people may know more than us and everybody else does know something more than us. But that does not mean that we can never be confident or certain or strongly disagree with somebody. Because by being humble... Oh, sorry. Side note, I just came home and forgot I have so many Gundam. I love my room. That's a nice feeling. To be really humble and tolerant and thoughtful means that when you really stand against something, you typically have a really fucking good reason to. So if you have gotten very practiced at being humble and at listening and at considering the unknowns and knowing that things are interconnected in a way you'll never understand, and still with all that, you really think something needs to stop, you're probably right. To be humble is to be water. To go with the flow, but also fucking destroy every solid object in your path over time. Anyway, yeah, so we'll take a look at that article, because I don't think there's a contradiction there. It's just, again, nuanced and non-dual and separate and not separate. Wow, it's like morality is nested within itself and complicated and difficult, and we weren't built for it. Oh god, we weren't built for any of this. Ad break ended. Stephen Batchelor suggests that we think of Nirvana like a clearing in the woods. In contrast with dense underbrush that obscures the forest floor and impedes our way forward, in a clearing, we can see and move freely. A sensible person will seek and appreciate little bits of nirvana and enlightenment, even if they believe in and are pursuing the mythically full experience. Nirvana is typically presented as the perfectly peaceful state that necessarily precedes, or perhaps we should say causes, enlightenment. In the West, we would call this heavenly, but it is not heaven as the West construes it. Nirvana is not full of angels and departed loved ones and God, and it is not over there. Nirvana is freedom and everything that could make us want. Freedom from anything that could make us want. It's a state of mind, and as such, it is available to us here, now. Buddhism holds that nirvana and enlightenment are already within every one of us. We just have to throw out the trash that stands between nirvana and enlightenment and our conscious awareness of them. Tomorrow's word is hard, good to know. Nuance is almost a foreign term these days. It's getting foreigner, yep. In traditional Buddhism, nirvana and enlightenment signal that we no longer need to be reincarnated, because there is no lesson left for us to learn, no need unmet. We are complete. In a secular rendering, this is when we are focused on things as they actually are, and the evaluations that they are good or bad aren't very interesting. Things are just as they are. Knowing how things are empowers us to act accordingly. That is good. Much like common sense. We are absorbed in knowing what is so, not in judging what is so. We have judged it in the past, and we will surely judge it again in the near future, but right now, in order to have maximum clarity and develop the best possible response, we are focused on having the fullest and most accurate understanding of what is, separate from how we feel about it, separate from what we think about it, separate from what we wish were so. Quote, "The ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence." Jiddu Krishnamurti. Quote, "The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are." Marcus Aurelius. Quote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." The near future? Marcus Aurelius. He didn't say the near future. Quote, "Reality cannot be ignored except at a price, and the longer the ignorance is persisted in, the higher and more terrible the price that must be paid." Aldous Huxley, who wrote Brave New World, which is a really important science fiction novel in my opinion. And I completely agree with him. I think the most damning thing about being inflexible in our thinking is that it increases the cost we have to pay if we discover later that we're wrong. Like, the more of an asshole we are about our beliefs, the bigger the cost of later admitting we were wrong becomes. So every time you have the opportunity to admit you're wrong and you turn it down when you shouldn't, you make it harder for yourself to do the right thing the next time. And that's why there's such a feedback loop of mean and stupid. People who supported Trump can't unsupport him now, because that would be really embarrassing and in some cases unforgivable. They're fucked. Like, no matter what they do, they're either going to be in support of corruption and evil, or they're going to lose a lot of personal value. Not things that they personally value in terms of relationships and clout. They can't admit it, and it will gnaw their soul. Yeah, I don't envy them, to be totally honest. I think that Trump supporters in general are in a lot of pain right now, and I sympathize with that, and I don't envy it. But also, told ya. Sometimes clarity, accurate perception, and understanding of what is actually so gives rise to an unanticipated change in how we feel about something. Sometimes it helps us plan actions that are accurately responsive and not overridden by past pains, preconceptions, mistaken expectations, overeagerness, reluctance, or rigidity in our thinking. Secular bits of nirvana and enlightenment can occur every day when we are so self-possessed that neither our most precious nor our most painful circumstances define us. Things are as they are. We are who we are. Our circumstances do not define us and are not the measure of us. Told you twice, in fact. Yeah. Hi, Asuka. Missed last week's stream. That's all right. There wasn't one. I woke up really, really sleepy last week, and I just went back to sleep. But hello and welcome. Same for here. We have Duterte. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce Filipino names. And he was a real renegade mayor before he became president. Now he's in ICC. Deserved. I don't even know what that means, but I believe you. Unpopular, but this is why I try to show people grace. They may not deserve it, but we'll never change people if we burn every bridge. That's true. Although, as I will discuss later when we visit the topic of fascism, I do think that in some ways, expecting people to change is unrealistic and unhelpful. Very rarely, 99% of the time, we should be graceful and forgiving and understanding and calm and compassionate and empathetic and all of that stuff. But sometimes people are just so insistently wrong that all you can do is take away their power. If noticing what is so reveals a disjunction that seems important, you can later plan how to reduce that disjunction. But if you start out with a penchant to judge and change things, it is very unlikely that you will notice what is so in a clear and unbiased way. Focus first on what is so, dispassionately. You will have plenty of time to act on what is so after you truly recognize it for what it is, and you'll be much more effective. I want to check how much longer this section is, because my throat is getting a little dry. Yeah, we can go to the end of this section. And then I'll do the article I was talking about, and then I'll switch to a game or something. Duterte? Or Duterte? Or Duterte? Duterte? Is it Duterte? He supported vigilante justice, oh dear, and was responsible for a lot of extrajudicial shooty. Now he's detained in Hague for crimes against humanity. Oops. Did I do that? Jeez. Well, I'm glad. I'm sorry for the suffering he caused, but I'm glad it's at an end. Look for opportunities to function in this way from time to time, then try to do it weekly, then daily, then close to every moment as you can. It's a skill. Like every other skill, it improves with mindful, regular practice. The more you do it, the more you will be able to do it. Any amount of time spent in a nirvana-ish state of mind can be wonderful, freeing, energizing, calming, peaceful, powerful, and lead to constructive actions. Imagine meditating in hopes of spending more time in a state of nirvana. Many people will tell you that if you enter into meditation in order to achieve anything in our usual linear way, to do something, you are already defeated. I agree. Instead, try only to observe whatever becomes present. Consider the idea that nirvana is already available to you, and all you have to do is notice it. Do that, and then whatever you are doing becomes a meditation. We do definitely need to hold people accountable, especially those in power. Yeah. And for me, it's not even so much about accountability. For me, the entire point of accountability, the point is never punishment or revenge. For me, the point of accountability is preventing further harm. So, for me, I'm never going to be like, I think that you deserve X because you did Y. For me, it's always, you keep doing Y, so I'm gonna have to do X. There's a YouTuber that I followed for years that was covering the story as that news came out. Wow. His daughter's a real piece of work too. No! Swore to send hitmen for the president and speaker of the house if she was removed. Jeez. That probably is all bark, but yeah, that's not something you can just say. Madam. That's a little inappropriate, madam. Almost as loud as Trump, jeez. Ask yourself this question. How likely is it that I will become a world-class soccer player if I never practice? Now ask yourself this. How likely is it that I will enjoy deep and durable peace and clarity of mind if I never practice? If you only practice soccer while playing in the World Cup, well, you won't get to the World Cup, will you? If you only practice having peace and clarity when you need it most, you aren't going to get much of it, are you? It's easy to argue that peace of mind is the one and only objective we ever have. Everything else is an off-center attempt to hit this one target. Once I have that object, that accomplishment, that recognition, that relationship, this or that, hunger will be satisfied, and I will have peace and contentment. This is the type of desire that only leads one to more dukkha. We see that this is embarrassingly naive when we say it out loud. It seems sensible at first, but our repeatedly lived experience is that the pleasure or satisfaction produced by such attainments concerns only a limited aspect of life and can degrade or disappear without our consent. Studies show that winners of large lottery windfalls, even those people who have acquired the resources to change a lot about their life circumstances in a short period of time, soon fall back to their previous level of happiness and satisfaction. Similarly, when people become wealthy only after years of hard work and feel that they have personally truly earned their wealth, they too remain vulnerable to and enmeshed in life's vicissitudes. Don't know what that means. I could rant about Trump for ages and I'm not even an American. Yeah, I think a lot of the world feels that way right now. It's hard to practice tranquility. This world incentivizes against it, hence more dukkha for everyone involved. Yeah, I agree. The world doesn't incentivize against tranquility, and it is very difficult to practice. I will say that I do not have a regular meditation practice, and that's something that I keep meaning to change and keep not changing, and if I'm to listen to this book, I should probably change that. But my point is, yeah, I find it very difficult too. I think it's probably already been mentioned in the book, but to reiterate, when you start meditating, you shouldn't be frustrated or discouraged if you can't stop thinking or can't relax or this, that, or the other thing. If you can just sit still and not think really intensely about anything for 10 minutes, that's really good practice. Does gaming count as meditation? I do sometimes feel like I'm in a nirvana-ish state when gaming, yes. I do feel that there are meditative aspects to gaming, but I don't think it has the full effects of meditation. Gaming is definitely my meditation. It's the closest thing I have to meditation currently. I hope to change that at some point. Maybe I should try more actively. For me, it depends on the game. Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, like, when I play Hades, I'm definitely not meditative, but I am in sort of a neutral flow state where everything else disappears. Gaming can never be meditation. It's too much stimulus. You're giving too much power to an external source into what's going through your mind. And that's fine. I mean, obviously I love gaming. I game a lot. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. But it's not meditation. It can just be meditative. I have worked with a lot of people far wealthier than I am. They have pleasures and comforts I do not have, and would enjoy. But they have no special protection against character flaws, insecurities, mistakes, stupidity, disappointments, fears, and pain. They have no special claim on intelligence, moral correctness, or peace of mind. People are people. Circumstances are circumstances. Circumstances matter, sometimes immensely, yet they do not define us. Our response to our circumstances is what defines us, and what ultimately determines our quality of life. And that's why I love what Final Fantasy XIII was trying to be, but failed to be. I know it's fun to say, but it's fun to say, yeah. Speaking of gaming, I saw this one video. Dude threw his game-averse dad into Dark Souls as his intro game, and they bonded over it. I love that. My brain is constantly turned on, so it's really hard for me not to overthink. Same. Unfortunately, it acts on dopamine receptors, which, yes, can induce into a deep state of focus, but you are seeking that focus instead of not seeking it, which is the point of meditation. Very well said. Ad Jail! Enjoy Ad Jail. I hope you enjoy Ad Jail. Actually, I kind of hope you don't enjoy Ad Jail. If you enjoy watching advertisements, you're probably very easy to sell to. I overthink when I'm stressed, which is when I shouldn't. Yeah, but also don't beat yourself up for doing it, because that's a very natural response. I kind of shut down when I'm overly stressed. The ads were aggressive stateside. I didn't know that there were ad breaks at different times for different people. Then what's the point of the chat telling me when the ad break is happening and when it's not? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, we've got a minute of ads left. Yeah, we'll go another couple pages. What's everybody playing lately? I started Clair Obscur, Ilya. I really like it so far. I think the sound design is unbelievably good. Music included, of course, but the sound effects as well. Ooh. Ooh. It's so good. Very well told story. Also, I think it might be the first time ever that I have played a video game where characters talk over each other the way humans do. I started it. I did. I've really been enjoying it. The set designs alone. The fact that there's no common battle theme. It's like the average playtime for this game is 45 hours and there's no common battle theme. It's all biome based. What? I just met SK and I like him very much. I like SK very, very much. He is very special to me. Ubisoft must be seething. Big publishers hate them. Been thinking about the story nearly every day since I finished. Wow. There's still a lot I don't know about the story since I've only gotten to SK, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I think that the beginning of the game is a little bit slow, like before the expedition. It's a little slow, but I understand it's necessary because there's a lot of story to set up. I did not expect it to get as funny or charming as it does. I thought it was just going to be straight drama, but there's actually quite a bit of levity in there, isn't there? Appropriately, though. It feels like a natural transition. Okay, back to the book. Peace of mind does not come from an easy life. It comes from the confidence we develop from how well we deal with a not easy life. Your track record for surviving everything that has happened to you so far is 100%. Take confidence from that. Quote, optimism doesn't mean that you are blind to the reality of the situation. It means that you remain motivated to seek a solution to whatever problems arise. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. On a very personal note, there is a perfect amount of goofy. The Gamage scene is good! I don't want to talk too much about... Oh, I tear up at the prologue? Yeah, nice. I don't want to talk about the landing scene too much because I think that experiencing it without context is the best way to experience it. But all I will say is that I think it was extremely well executed, and I had a very strong emotional response to it that colored pretty much the rest of my experience of the game so far. Really, really good storytelling. Characters that are people can be funny, even in stressful situations, and that makes them more human? Magic! It's almost like humor and camaraderie are survival tactics. Wow! What I wanted to add to this quote about optimism doesn't mean you're blind to the reality of the situation. I don't mean to... This might sound a little depressing, but I want it to sound optimistic, because that's what it is. I remember about a year ago when I started really realizing the depths of my mental health troubles. I said to my therapist at some point, it's a really good thing I'm not an AI model, because my life would have trained me to give up. And I haven't. And I mean that. I'm still optimistic for my future, not because I have any evidence that I should be, but because I just don't see how I could stop having that optimism. What would I do? I would just stop everything. What? No. No. I'm gonna keep going. That's witchcraft to AAA publishers. Only cold hard numbers matter to them. It's true. Only cold hard numbers matter to them. They've made that abundantly clear in recent years. Bro, what the fuck? That hit like a wall of brick. It was a big moment for me. You persevere. You're still working to a better future for yourself. I am. I really am. I remember recently my psychiatrist said, like, not as in telling me, not as in informing me, but as in stating something that we both already believed, or like we both already had been conscious of. She just stated, like, really directly, you have worked really hard to become really good at several things and become a really good person, and you're on food stamps. And I said, yeah. I don't like this world, but I like a lot of the stuff I've gotten to do in it. And I like a lot of the stuff that I haven't gotten to do yet. And that's what keeps me going. I want to make a joke about AI and supermodels, but I'm drawing up like AI models. Ooh, I don't know what that pose was. Optimism doesn't mean believing that things will turn out okay. It means knowing that you will be okay, no matter how things turn out. Quote, "A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking, because its trust is not on the branch, but on its wings." Charlie Wardle. When expecting durable peace of mind to come from anything external, we are holding ourselves hostage to things we know from experience don't work. Durable peace of mind must be generated from within. It must come from who we are, not what our circumstances are. It must rest on our knowledge of and confidence in ourselves, not the illusory protection of circumstance we ultimately cannot control. That's really inspiring. Hey, I'm glad I said it then, because that's all I ever strive to be with you guys, really. I mean, that's why I'm reading this book. I'm reading this book to you all because I think it is really valuable. Not because I love my dad and I want to promote his book. I do love my dad, and I do want to promote his book, but I wouldn't be doing it monthly like this. I just like sharing. I think that's the main thing behind every piece of content I've made so far. I'm just sharing. Sharing is caring. We tend to think that we can only have peace of mind when certain conditions are met. That is factually mistaken. Functionally, it is worse than useless. What we need and can produce is peace of mind while we are on life's roller coaster. Peace of mind is not the result of everything going smoothly. Peace of mind is the result of practicing peace of mind. Clarity, an essential aid to peace of mind, is the result of minimizing illusion by paying attention to what is so. Peace and clarity come from, and only from, our own mental activity, with the support of, or in spite of, our circumstances. Regardless of our circumstances, peace and clarity are usually, though not constantly, available to us. Regardless of our circumstances, we usually manage to unwittingly miss out on the peace and clarity we deserve. Some people have peace of mind even when they face death. We human beings, and you in particular, are capable of great things. I hope you will learn to have more peace and clarity, even and especially in the midst of life's most difficult challenges. Pick any activity you would like to be good at, but don't practice. That is the relationship nearly everyone has with peace and clarity. Do you want peace and clarity? What specific activities do you engage in daily in order to practice the skills involved in having them as default features in your daily life? Quote, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." Aristotle. Aristotle's counsel certainly applies to the excellence of having peace and clarity as one's default and nearly unshakable state of mind. If you only try to practice having peace and clarity when you need it most, that's like only practicing the violin when you are already on stage, giving a concert to a full house of hostile critics. How's that gone for you in the past, Pedro? The path to excellent peace and clarity, or any virtue, is paved, like all skills, by frequent, mindful practice. When the famous cellist Pablo Casals was asked why he continued to practice at the age of 90, he said, "Because I think I'm making progress." Quote, "You practice, and you get better." Very simple. Philip Glass. Quote, "If only we built gyms for kindness, where we worked on our compassion, our empathy, and our patience, along with our bodies." Marlon Brando. And we will stop there for today. My throat's a little bit little sore. Sorry, I got dirty dishes on my desk. I like this track a lot. I've been playing Shapes 2 which is a factory sim. It's totally mindless, very zen, and I really like this track. It just kind of bounces between the parallel major and minor in a way that I love. Anyway, did I hear dishes? You did. I practiced my butt off and my professor still made me cry. You know how is not caring? You know who is not caring? Thekla. Thekla cares about Thekla and God. Or the founder, or whatever is they call the first, the Athena lady. Go wash them, you stinky boy. I will, I promise. Anyway. I am gonna pull up the article I was talking about, if I can find it. Because I think it's really good. Here we are. There is no talking them down, responding to fascism in the contemporary United States. I have an acquaintance I respect a lot who is convinced that the proper response to the rise of fascist governance in the United States today is empathetic dialogue. In so many other scenarios, I think this is the right approach, but not in this. I will briefly explain why we should consider that path worse than useless, and what we should do instead. Side note, you had to get naked in Greek and Roman gymnasiums. Oh yeah! The root word is gumnos? Naked? Oh! I didn't know it actually meant naked. That's amazing. Oh, we've got 3 minutes before an ad break. Let me get through this article. If we construe fascism as a disease and attempt to treat it with something that doesn't work against it, we end up cooperating with fascism by giving it more time to become worse. How can anyone, least of all an empathetic, compassionate person, take the position that respectful persuasion is an act of collaborating with, then holy shit. How can anyone, least of all an empathetic, compassionate person, take the position that respectful persuasion is an act of collaborating with rather than challenging fascism? Because as we on the left are fond of saying, facts matter. There are pertinent psychological and historical facts about the conditions giving rise to fascism, the people who support it, what has ever been successful in ending fascism. I am suddenly unable to read from a computer screen after doing it for over an hour in a book. There are pertinent psychological and historical facts about the conditions giving rise to fascism, the people who support it, what has ever been successful in ending fascism, and what happens in the aftermath. Supporters of fascism exhibit a high need for certainty, order, and sameness over complexity or ambiguity. Bruglansky, 2004. They exhibit don't ask me to subscribe to my dad. I get that shit for free. Scrolled down. I don't even know where I am. There we are. They exhibit high scores on the right-wing authoritarianism scale, which measures submission to authority, conventional and conservative thinking, and aggression toward outgroups. Altemeyer, 1981. These traits are not softened by dialogue. They are intensified by diversity, dissent, and social change. The more threats people perceive, moral decay, immigration, globalization, the more they support authoritarian solutions. Karen Stenner, The Authoritarian Dynamic, 2005. Contrary to what we would hope, supporters of fascism are not simply misinformed. Fascist movements draw their power from a distinct psychological profile, a deep preference for order, conformity, and submission to authority. Fascism is not an opinion. It's the way a lot of people's brains happen to work. It's a hunger for order, simplicity, and control that dominates all other concerns. Cruelty, facts, infliction of devastating harm on others, and even against oneself, are all just part of what is necessary to restore and preserve order, simplicity, and control. This is why they quite reliably vote against their own self-interests. I only have 10 seconds before the ad break. I'm just going to keep going. Sorry. Oh, wait. I can snooze it. I missed it. I missed the button. I missed the snooze button. Okay, I guess I'm just going to keep going. Changing your mind in a fascist movement faces tremendous inertia. It means abandoning your That's why Jonathan does not play shooter games. It means abandoning your tribe, identity, and cosmology, which few of us can do. Most of us have trouble admitting to an error even when none of those things are at stake. As such, to question one's group identity is an existential threat. Who am I if this is not true? Who am I if this is not true and I have done what I've done? To be clear, group and personal identities are fused to varying degrees in all of us. Group identity tends to anchor, define, or at least deeply contextualize one's sense of self. In times of stress or threat, the tribal group identity frequently overrides the personal. This is the mechanism by which, both for good and bad causes, people will give their lives for a cause or a family member. This is why voting against one's own health, economic well-being, education, anything is commonplace among the GOP base. Tribal identity routinely trumps personal self-interest because both tribal and personal identity are the existential core of who I am, and the tribal edges out the personal most of the time. As the most socially interdependent species on the planet, this is simply how most of us are and how all of our heroes must be. Heroes are defined by sacrificing for a principle, cause, or group greater than themselves, not because they lack a personal identity, but because their personal identity is deeply bound to that of the greater good or the group. Loyal members of evil groups typically have given too much of their personal identity over to the group. As such, challenging facts and empathy don't bring enlightenment. They bring threats that give rise to fear and anger. As Arendt observed, the totalitarian personality prefers a consistent fiction to a confusing reality. The Origins of Totalitarianism, 1951. This article seems very relevant, especially that Jubilee video that came out recently. I don't know anything about that video. I walked in on something heavy. Hi, Revenant. I'm reading from my dad's article on why talking to and empathizing with fascists is a mistake. Kato on my lap, massaging his toe beans while he makes air biscuits. Beauteous. What a comfy setting for learning about fascism. If talking doesn't work, what does? Historically, authoritarian movements end only through overwhelming defeat, for example, Nazi Germany and Mussolini's Italy, internal fracture and economic collapse, such as Soviet bloc states, mass organized resistance, such as South Africa, Chile, and Serbia. Oh, that's the whole list. Overwhelming defeat, internal fracture, or mass resistance. Note that even the defeat of fascism does not change the mind of its supporters. Instead, they employ defenses such as, it wasn't that bad, things people say now never actually happened. Well, it's not my fault, I was lied to by people I trusted. I was just following orders. I was never really convinced, and I didn't do anything worse than anyone else. Or they join reactionary groups that continue the cause. The United States has already lived through the collapse of the authoritarian system of slavery, and we failed to properly reckon with it. After the Civil War, there was no truth and reconciliation, no cultural or psychological confrontation with the horror of slavery. Instead, the nation embraced a false narrative of reconciliation without justice, allowing former Confederates to re-enter power, enacting Jim Crow apartheid, and sanitizing history through the lost cause states' rights myth. The result is a country where the ideology of racial hierarchy was never fully discredited, only rebranded. And I'm kind of crying now. I really love my dad, guys. Your dad is based for real, for real. I like him. As Brian Stevenson, founder of the Equal Justice Initiative, notes, slavery didn't end in 1865. It just evolved. This failure offers a blueprint of what happens when we refuse accountability. The past festers, mutates, and returns. If we allow modern American fascism to collapse without truth, memory, and structural change, we will repeat that cycle again, this time with an even greater technological and institutional force. We also have an example of how to do it right. Germany's... That's a long word! Germany's Vergangenheitsbewältigung. The painful confrontation with its Nazi past remains the extraordinary exception to the usual failure to post-process fascism successfully, notwithstanding that Nazism has not been entirely vanquished there or in other countries. Slavery never left it. Yeah, it's called a prison now. It really is. It was one progressive versus 20 far-right Republicans. The progressive basically had to debate with multiple fascists. Ooh! That's not good. Your father cooked there. I like him. If we cannot persuade them, and we can't, then we must contain, outmaneuver, and outlast them. Here are key steps we must take now, while we still can. Vote relentlessly while voting still exists. Fascists gain power legally, then dismantle democracy from within. Levitsky and Zabalt, How Democracies Die, 2018. Apply economic pressure. Boycott fascists' enablers, support divestment campaigns, and fund resistance efforts. Undermine prestige. Challenge media, politicians, personal friends, and family members, and institutions that normalize authoritarianism, whether unapologetically or under the guise of balance and centrism. Build resilient networks of mutual aid, independent media, alternative education, and worker solidarity. Fascism feeds on atomization. The antidote is community. Fascists always start with the most marginalized: immigrants, queer people, racial minorities. Organize around sanctuary, rapid response, and legal defense. Protecting others is resistance. Plan for the aftermath. Prepare for the psychological and cultural vacuum after fascism collapses. Don't expect remorse. Build public memory through documentation, art, and testimony. Focus not on punishing every supporter, but on making the old worldview impossible to resurrect. The duty-responsibility-bound treatment of the past. It's a very good word. I don't know how to say it. Fascism cannot be debated, only defeated. Let go of the fantasy that we can change fascist minds. This is not about changing minds. It's about changing outcomes without changing minds. If hope remains, it lives not in persuasion, but in solidarity, memory, and unyielding courage. Begin now. And a list of citations. I'm gonna link that, because I think that's an awesome article. Thanks for thanks for humoring me. If you got something out of that, awesome. If you didn't, you still listened politely, so I appreciate you. Jubilee's debate format just leads to nothing of value being gained, and allowing fascists on there is just signal boosting their views to millions of others. I completely agree. I don't like debate channels because usually the motivation is not exchange of thought and political development. Usually the purpose is to get clicks and views, which is best done by pitting very polarized people against each other, which does nothing but legitimize the people who are wrong. And when an issue is polarizing, it's usually because one side is wrong. You inherited such luscious locks. Thank you. I like them. I actually, if I say it, it's true. I found my first gray hair last week. But I was thrilled to see that it still has like the kind of luster and sparkly shine that my natural color has. And I was so afraid that my gray hair was going to be dull, but it's not as shiny, so I'm going to be okay. Your dad seems cool. I think so. This is good. I should reframe what I said earlier about showing grace and all that. Hey, that was fucking great. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Pedro. This last, I don't know, 3-month period for me has been really illuminating for me in that regard. Up until 2020, I was very actively, very respectfully engaging with political opponents on social media, trying to learn from them and trying to change minds. And I did learn a lot. I changed 0 minds. And the breaking point for me was when I spent 3 hours drafting, redrafting, revising, and editing to be as concise, respectful, and direct as possible in explaining to somebody why he was not arguing with me in good faith. And I basically got back, well, you know, it goes both ways. So I stopped posting on Facebook and never started again. I have not posted on social media for 5 years, except a little bit on Twitter, and now I don't even do that. Flexing on all of us with male baldness patterns. I'm just happy about my body, okay? I can do that once in a while. Sorry if it makes you feel bad. I didn't mean it that way. Yeah. Yo, your dad's skibbity bass, no cap. No, that's worse. Jubilee, it's just all the bad. I don't know anything about that channel. I started growing white, blondish strands of hair, and my hair is black, and I'm 20 years old. That's not fair! What the fuck, man? Although I will say, your description kind of sounds like the character Adolin from the Stormlight Archives, and he's hot. So, congrats. When did baldness come up? I thought you were bragging about your first... Yeah, no, it's not baldness. No, I'm very, very fortunate in ways that I did not earn, in that I do not have to worry about baldness. My mom's side of the family is very well haired. My dad's too, but that's genetically irrelevant. I already told a student of mine when I get my first gray hair, I'm naming it after him. Was he really stressful? Wife has been gray since she was 16. That's not fair! That's not fair! The hair gods are cruel and unforgiving. But thankfully, we have today's sponsor, Hims. Okay, what should we do now? I've been going for about 2 hours. Be a little short if I ended now, so I want to play something. I want to play something. You know what, though? Even more than I want to play something, I want to pee. Alright, I'm back. Oh, my water bottle's in the shot. Whatever. I like that idea, Leo. I'm downloading Jackbox. I will, in the past, it has mysteriously not worked while I'm streaming, but in all other cases, it's fine. So I don't know if this will work. If it doesn't, we'll play Scriblio. Ba 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 ba. Oh my! I forgot Jackbox has its own music. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Work? Usually it just gets stuck on this stream, on this screen when I'm streaming. Yo! Let's play Job Job. Okay. Wait, what do you... Oh. Got it. Yeah, get on here, guys. Just like Moses? Oh wait, I need to actually show you the window, don't I? Nothing's visible because I'm bad at my job. Where's the best place for me to hang out? I guess this corner's fine. Why can't I drag myself? There we go.
Maybe I'll still get to see Paris.
Yeah, sure, you'll get to see Paris. Sleep now, Frank. You'll see the ocean again. I don't know where to be. Oh, yeah, sorry. Go to jackbox.tv and put in Cave On.
Do you say GIF or GIF? I say GIF.
Okay, I'm gonna unpin my my dad's book and pin jackbox.tv.
Take a seat, but don't sit on Kevin, he works here.
Can I wait 2 minutes, please? Of course I can. No problem. Also, we're in ads for 10 more seconds. I want to give everybody a chance to join. You forgot to shower. Aww. Well, I'm glad to have you, even in all your stinky glory. I know you're in as Peter. Never apologize for hydration, Aaliyah! Would anybody else like to join?
Apparently Jackbox.tv is a website. Go there and enter the room code and stop staring at me.
Oh, wait! No wonder Aaliyah's the host. I didn't get in. What if I played the game I'm hosting? That would be fun. Okay, Aaliyah's a mod, I trust him. Had to wait for the ad to end? Yeah, I know.
If you were the first person to log in, you'll start the game when everyone's ready, okay?
Okay. No, it actually is all you. Aaliyah, I can't do it. You can't. You can't give it to me. But it's alright, it might just be for
There's too many of you.
one game.
Some of you can be in the audience. just as thrilling.
So in Revenant, you just have to pick an icon or something. Actually, I don't think it's mandatory. Meridia's Beacon!
How am I?
Is Meridia's Beacon just a D12? I think we're all in. Ilya. Everyone who wants to be. You can't have picked the cat. Ilya picked the cat.
I read everybody's mail.
This spell does 3 Meridia's Beacon of damage, plus 3. Here I am. Oh, I didn't realize you were still not. Yes, we're all ready. Roll.
Anyone here single?
Uh,
Sorry, I meant got any singles?
I don't know what to say,
in
Nrev.
today.
I will try to drag myself to a part of the screen that is not.
Welcome, potential hires.
I'll
We're
let this
thrilled
play
you
'cause I
applied
don't know
for this
if
exciting
everybody
employment opportunity.
knows
if you
this
haven't
game.
guessed, I'm the boss around here, but I like to think of myself more as a buddy, a boss buddy. Water? Someone will get that. I can tell you're all great candidates. Unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of you and only one job. It's incredibly stressful for me. That's why I developed a revolutionary new hiring process. I'm going to interview you all at once and force you to judge each other. Whew, I feel more relaxed already. Deborah, clear my calendar. It's time to get to know our candidates.
Here we
My first
go.
rule of
I love the
management,
word
make
art.
sure employees
Microsoft
feel
word
prepared.
art.
So prepare yourself for some questions happening right now. Let's go. I'm gonna send some icebreaker questions to your device. Answer them
I think
any
there
way
are
you want.
3.
There are no rules, except this one rule. You gotta use at least 5 words, okay? You gotta get descriptive so I know I can rely on you for juicy office gossip. It's my first rule of management.
Half your time is up.
That's gross. I don't like that animation. But I should. Ooh, I can just be a little cropped. Give myself a haircut. Oh,
Alright, now we'll
I was
just
the one who
find
took
your
the
answers.
longest. Oops. Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, that's definitely not the corner I should be hiding in then.
Now that I've put you all at ease, I'm sending my first round
I
of
wanted
hard-hitting
to trick
interview
you all,
questions
yes.
to your device. But instead of typing your responses, you'll be using words from your fellow interviewees
Yeah,
to
it didn't
answer
end
the
up mattering.
questions. Impressed yet? Tap any word you see to add it to your response. If you make a mistake, tap the word again to remove it. You can also drag words around to rearrange them. Can't find the right words
I
for
give
what
a
you
baby
wanna
this
say?
butter.
Then say something different, I guess. The first rule of management is just make it work already.
A little more to the left. Oh. There are two questions you have to answer in this timer, by the way.
Hey, you're halfway through the timer.
Well, perfect, because I just finished my first answer.
Hey, you're almost out of time.
Ew, why is there a heart in the wall? Why is there a heart in the wall? It's so gross.
Okay, let's see them. What's the workplace safety tip
So
you
much
find most
professional.
important?
Procrastinate
pretty
and
great,
love
but I like one
safety.
of them better.
Also
I just
important,
need you
not
guys to
doing
remember which
workplace.
one. Vote on your
Dark
devices
animals.
now.
Turns to ghosts. Everywhere. That's a hard one. Just barely edged out Aaliyah for me.
Nice.
Those were
Using
close,
words from
though.
3 separate people earns you an extra bonus.
Rainbow.
What's the only thing more exciting than career success?
Skibbity Riz Sigma, because I invented smoke, bro. That evil grapes killed me, but I would continue for spite. Oh, I hate myself for this, but I'm actually, I'm going for the Skibbity Riz. Hi, Pigeon, welcome! A cancer onto this world. Thank you, Pedro.
How do you calm down when you're stressed?
I don't. Reading, if you don't fool brain food. I don't know. I don't, so you know it's pretty bad. I'm hungry. These are great. I really like this game. It's always fun. Oh. This is called Job Job. It's part of Jackbox 8. Well done again, Pedro. That is
Synergy.
synergy. I don't know what that means.
What do you hope to find in the office recreation room?
Empty-headed girl. A very fly shield of fire holding the power of recreation. I
see you rated
bluffed.
the
It
question
was
for some
mine
extra
the
words.
whole
Just
time.
about any text you see on your device is fair game. What's an underappreciated skill in today's corporate culture?
Loves dying in a sauna within minutes, but allergic to peanuts, you fool. I love the three ums.
On a daily basis, how do you hope to empower your coworkers?
Empower. I will unleash myself and tax the rich. I bang your head on a crunch. There's also smoothness.
I'm not much for reading, but from what I skimmed, you guys did great. Let's see who's in the lead.
Damn,
Biggest
Pedro,
number's the
you
best,
cleaned
if you
house.
ask me. Anyway, let's try a couple more icebreakers.
Round 2.
Okay, just like before. Say anything you want, but be descriptive. The more you write, the less time I have to spend alone with my thoughts.
The eye twitch.
Dr. Gremlick, I'm still having that stress problem. My job is super important, and yet I have zero stress. Anyway, have a good day.
Alright, I'm done.
I'm here to inform you that you've used half your time.
I don't know what these motivational posters mean.
running out.
I'm sure you guys heard the
This
fire
counts as
engine
your
just now.
orientation, by the way.
This counts as your orientation.
Round 2 of questioning. This time,
I
want
do
to know
remember
how you
in
would handle some
Spyrobot. That was a
tough
fun
workplace
time.
Scenarios. Remember, you can use any word you see
Thank
on
you,
your
it's
device
authentic.
in your answer. Try grabbing a word from the question itself. I bet whoever came up with this is pretty cool. It was me.
Here we go.
I'm here to inform you that you've used half of your time. Time's almost up.
I spent way too much
Let's
time on
see
my
what we've
first
got
one and
here.
then
We
had
don't have a
nothing
date
for
here,
my next
so
one.
what do you plan to do with your kids during the day?
Snoozing the ads again.
Go ahead and vote already.
Don't worry. Kids in the closet afraid of the dark. The ghosts light the way of craftsmanship, but farts murder. Compelling arguments. Farts
This
murder.
round, winning answers boost your score even more.
There you go, Chris.
A coworker keeps leaving you out of the group lunch order. What do you say to them?
Fuck off. It was a misery. Please pinkies out for food. Good. I love rocks. Really. The rocks got me, man. Good job, Aaliyah. Fucking eating rocks for lunch. All good, guys.
Deborah
I'll just
keeps
eat
making
rocks.
a big fuss about her work anniversary. What do you do?
Kill her. Sorry. I would play violin and stop the machine in a fuss. Destroying a room for extra misery, please more. I like the idea of somebody just mercilessly playing the violin to drown somebody else out.
Trent has come to work on a hoverboard again. How do you get him to stop?
Rocks! I'm gonna find that boy, bang the boy head on the hoverboard. How do I choose? These are both works of art. Damn! Damn! Ooh, that's the hardest decision I've ever made in my life.
Synergy.
Synergy. Can't beat the rocks.
You're stuck in a long elevator ride with the district manager. Quick, say something to make it less awkward.
Take away the humanity of the universe, the sun to leaving. I love you, Jimmy. Kill, 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 kill. Who needs to be coherent when you're in an elevator with the CEO or district manager? My bad. Getting a little ahead of myself, thinking I'd ever be in an elevator with the CEO.
You have not been invited to Trish's wedding. Does this
Trish,
mean something? How do you react?
I feel my blood boil and bang Trish's head against the dentist. Procrastinate. Yeah, fair. I ran out of time on that one, but thank you, Chris. That plant in the back has seen some shit. Either that or it's
Was a
never seen
truly
any
grilled
shit and it's
display.
depressed.
Let's see who's my current favorite.
Ooh, Aaliyah!
You know what would go down smooth right now? One more icebreaker. Don't overthink it. Just put
Okay.
down whatever enters your mind. Unless you were thinking about everything you've ever said and trying not to be paralyzed with regret.
Regret dot boom. This time there's only one question, by the way.
You're about halfway through the timer.
Boom, 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 boom.
Finish your answer before time runs out.
Boom, 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 boom. Why was that? The willingness. That's right. This does feel like Inspirobot.
Looks like words to me. Okay, it's the final round, and it appears we're missing something. Your resumes. Probably my fault. The chair that does my collating is out sick. But you know what? I don't need resumes. Just finish the personal statement that's already started on your device.
All right.
If you need motivation, remember, whoever gets the job gets to hang out with me all day, every day.
Ooh, tempting. Twice I've made sentences that maxed out at 128 characters exactly. That's pretty cool.
You should be halfway done now, okay?
I'm out of snoozes, but hopefully in 3 minutes the game will be over anyway. Oh!
Time's almost up.
Very normal desk behavior. What a good boss.
Oh, I can't wait to see these.
I dream to chuck on a quarter. I fear ass. I dream for fire stuff. I fear
Choose your
crying
favorite now.
on existential crisis. Myself.
It's
Hey,
the last round, so let's really
even
jack
split.
up that score bonus, shall we?
I dream just pain. Nothing but pain. I fear love. I dream for mercilessly taking candy from baby seals. Spite. I fear escape Halloween farts. Oh, those cantankerous escape Halloween farts. Bum 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 bum. I dream texture. I fear roughness. I dream immediately the light of the universe turns empty. I fear the girl turns into animals, perish the sun. One of these is a little more cosmic than the others, I'm noticing. Oh, a new follow! I missed it! I'm sorry! Thank you for being here! Good to have you. I do like me some cosmic.
And that's it. You're all fine candidates. Except maybe you. Anyway, only one of you's getting hired.
My guess is... oh, I was gonna guess Aaliyah, but Pedro took it back! Pedro took it back! Nice, 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 nice.
Congratulations! You're our new organizer of intellectual jibs and jabs.
Oh, you didn't know.
Welcome to the team! Oh, and Allison, you're fired.
I forgot the credit song is so weird. Yeah, it wasn't clear. We're in an ad break right now for another minute. I'd like to do a round of Drawful Animate, and then we'll have been going for about 3 hours, so I'll call the stream there. Usually I like to do each game at least twice, just so that people can get a hang of it and then really go for it. But I'm tired. I don't want to stream more than 3 hours today. Do you want to change the title? I changed the category. Oh, thank you. You haven't seen an ad once today? Aren't you subscribed? Didn't somebody give you like a gift subscription? Well, that was a while ago though. Huh, I don't know. Yeah, we're in an ad break. For some reason it doesn't show on my thing that it changed, but I believe you. Yeah, why not? Change the, I can change the title actually. Dang. Either you guys are lucky or you're accidentally subscribed. Okay, that's enough of the credits. Oh wait, no, not exit, exit. Exit to pack. And we will play Drawful Animate. What the fuck? It crashed. It's probably not a good sign when going to the main menu crashes the game. Oh! Wait. You're subscribed! Nice! I think that's what that means, right? Why am I now stuck? I can't make this... Oh wait, no. I'm confused. You have tons of channel points, got it. Drawful Anime to play. I don't know what friend mode is, but I hate all of you, so we're not doing that. P-Zig! Get in here, you P-Zigs! Oh wait, but not until I get in. There we go. Enjoy daughter time! Unless it's annoying, then don't enjoy daughter time. Drawing on mobile is gonna be really bad? Correct! Actually, that reminds me, I really should be doing this on Chrome as opposed to DuckDuckGo, because DuckDuckGo has this fun little thing where if you swipe up or down, it will show and hide the address bar, and that ruins this game. Oh no! Oh no! There's two of me! Hold on, sorry, I'm gonna have to do this again. My fault, I fucked up. We shall not be P-Zig. We shall be... Zervth. HR fucked up. I don't know what that is. What's the room code? It's Zersif. It's Zervif. Zervif.
Okay, here's the room code. ZRVF.
It's Zervif. Bro! In red! The little goblin? Dying goblin, I should say. Beep 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 beep. So the way this game works, if you don't remember, oh, it was supposed to be a cat? Then why'd you do green? Oh, because green's the color you have. Yeah, I forgot it's randomized. So if you haven't played this game before, the way it works is you're going to get, it's similar to Pictionary, but also not quite. You're going to get a prompt for your drawing, and you will draw 2 frames in the time limit. To produce an animation, just like you did right. Oh, I like the whooper, just like you just did for your profile picture, as it were. Oh, let me show everybody Pedro's whooper. There, that works. So yes, you will you'll draw 2 things. And then everybody will get a chance to see your drawing. Well, not everybody, but most of the players will see your drawing and come up with a title for what they think it is. And then we will all vote on what we think is the actual prompt that the person was given. And you should be aware, just because something has a typo or bad capitalization or something in it, does not mean it is not the correct answer. They made this game knowing that people will make typos and grammar mistakes, and they ran with it. So some of the prompts actually will be bad grammar or bad punctuation or whatever. The point isn't to be good at this, the point is to be funny. I will strive to be worse. Pazer, once you're ready with your profile picture, we can start. Nice! That looks really good. Let's go!
Welcome to Drawful Animate. As a treat, I'm gonna make my
Entirely
dice 1%
blank
more
ink.
animated. Yahoo! There's a lot of
Yahoo.
you, so we're gonna knock this out in 1 round. Let's do this. I've sent a prompt to each of your devices. It might be something unusual, like kelp or Audrey Hepburn holding a peppercorn. Make an animation on your device that would fit that title. When you're done, hit submit. You'll get points for each player that guesses the correct title. You get it. Let's do this. Remember, you're always welcome in the audience. Go to jackbox.tv and enter the room code.
This is really fucking bad. I'm so sorry. These little pencil gloves are kind of hideous. The drawing is so cooked on mobile.
At this point, you're gonna want to start thinking about that second frame.
My mouse button got stuck and now there's a whole mess. Should have drawn cows. I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I drew the first line of my drawing, I was like, that wasn't good. Just immediate regret. Oh, I just remembered that we each only get one. It's gonna be really... Ah. I only had one chance to show my lack of drawing skills, and it was even better, worse, better than I expected it to. Anyway, 50 seconds for drawing. Get back to using a graphics tablet. I'll be an Amadeus next Jackbox. I mean, I really like your profile picture
30
drawing.
seconds left. Put on your finishing touches.
I do have a few friends who sometimes I play this with, and I can always tell when it's their drawing because it's just way better than all the others.
Looks like not all of you hit submit in time.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, Slowpoke. We took what you had.
Can we do another round after this? Depends on how long this takes. I don't really want to, unless
Think
it's
about
really
what
quick.
this animation could be titled and write it on your device.
But also, Charlie has expressed a lot of interest in having a Jackbox day, so I should just do a Jackbox stream. Maybe we'll do that next week and we can give this another shot. How does somebody even come up with, like,
We don't have all day.
yeah,
In
we're
fact, we
going
have
to
like a couple
have
seconds.
a corgi with too many legs, and that's the timer. We do have an ad break in 2 minutes. This will definitely still be going. Just follow along as best as you can during the ads. Actually, you'll still have like a little thumbnail,
Which title
right?
do you think is quote-unquote correct?
Oh my god. These are fun. I don't have any idea if this is
Vote now or
real
forever regret.
or if this is right, but jeez.
Boy, I am psyched for these reveals.
Gotcha! Yay! I was like, I can't see one of us making up Patty, come down from that beanstalk. Like, it's too much of a red herring to not be the actual thing.
Title for this animation.
This is mine. Told you it was terrible. You've been missing Jackbox? It's okay, I'm gonna do it next week too. I can't comment on any of these because
choose only one.
Because I drew this, so I know the actual prompt.
Go ahead and vote before the time runs out. Okay, here's what happened.
That's a good one, Ilya. Good trap. Hey, well done. Pedro, were you third impact? That's fucking funny.
Tap your fingers on the
What
keyboard
is it?
to create a title.
How did I know it was you? Because you are the only person who showed up for the Evangelion watch parties. Way back when! That was 2 years ago now.
There isn't much time left. You simply must...
You simply must... Tiny little quail shoved in the corner. Mickey bullies boards. Mickey is a bird racist.
What a spread, yeah.
Evil Mickey Mouse
Okay,
attacks
time to vote.
local wildlife. Disney versus Sad Bird. Mikey the racist mouse. We've got a racism theme in this one.
Yo, you gotta pick something. Alrighty, let's see what you did.
That is really funny, Asuka. I like that one a lot. Oops. Really?
That's drawful, baby.
Pedro? Pedro, what the fuck? Pedro? Explain! Because it was funny?
Got a good title for this
Jeez.
one? Put it in writing.
As a reminder, just in case this matters to anybody, this is a US-made game, I think, or maybe Canada, but we call that the trunk of a car, not the boot. That's a dick? Probably, yeah, I'm gonna get demonetized.
Break something down.
That is a dick. Oh, my thingy. When burying the body goes wrong. Trunk
Here are your
destroys
choices.
dick hand. Man gets phallic hand from car trunk. That sounds like a headline.
Hey, pick something. Okay, I'm actually curious how this one turned out.
I don't actually get that one. Yeah! So, yeah, unfortunately, Ilya, I'm not gonna have the stamina to do another round of this, but we'll do this again next week for sure.
Folks, we got another animation. Just a friendly reminder to submit a title.
Imagine Dragons dropping radioactive, mutually assured destruction. What's happening to the sky?
Okay, check these out.
WMD that breaks the laws of physics. Plane drops nuclear warhead on bystanders. Enter Nuclear Boom. Wow.
Oh, get over yourself. Just pick something. Okay, who got tricked?
Oh no! Well done in Revenant. That was so absurd that I figured it had to be the right one. Especially because it has the enter symbol on it. Counterpoint, I'm very funny. Wow, alright. I'm sorry, Shihen. Really, I am. But I'm tired.
Oh, here's our final animation of the game.
We'll do this for the whole stream next week. And then we'll finish, not finish, but play more Ori of the Blind Forest. And the Blind Forest.
Come on, type something.
New husband, glowy blowy, grouchy bullfrog in a crop top, Teenage Mutant belly button, Green Lantern saves the day, the Ghost of the Mask, and the Grinch's son. Wow. I don't know what the hell to do with any of this.
Let's check out the results.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dang, nice one.
Hey-oh! Ooh, I cleaned up with that one. What a fitting way to end. How? I almost missed it, but the belly button seemed too deliberate. That was fun. That was fun. GG's. Is that the Duolingo owl? I was kind of thinking the same thing. Been a while since we played. Yeah. So yes, again, next week we will do a full Jackbox stream. I'm excited that we can do that now that whatever bug was going on either was patched or it fixed itself or whatever. But I very much enjoyed this stream with you all. I hope you did too. And we're gonna keep watching Kill la Kill this weekend on Saturday. We watched through episode 9, so we'll watch episodes 10 through something. And yeah, Killa Killa. Gartic Phone. We've never played Gartic Phone, have we? That would be fun. Yeah, maybe we'll throw in a round or two of that. Okay, I am tired, so get some sleeps and rest your voice box. Not time to go to bed, but definitely time to... Okay, I might take a nap. We'll see. Anyway. Thank you for coming. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to each other. Have a great week, and I will see you later. Bye!